episode of Mindset Monday. I'm happy you're here with us today, and we are here to share with you information about health, fitness, and as we continue with Movember. I hope you had a spectacular Monday. And I know for a lot of us, we are getting ready to enjoy Thanksgiving. So many persons right now are traveling. Some are getting ready to travel on Tuesday and Wednesday to be with friends and family. What better time to celebrate a nice meal with some nice people where we enjoy the good times, where we celebrate the bad times, and we just come together and just warm the hearts of our loved ones. This week's episode, we are still focusing on men's health because Movember is centered around men's health, specifically dealing with mental health, prostate health. And so we have a wonderful guest today. He is health, fitness, and mindset coach. It's all about health, fitness. I know he's not stringent, but of course, he centers everything around a healthy mental attitude because it all starts with the mind. Our guest today is Shane Foster. And let me get him as he comes to us. Hi, Shane. Happy
Hi,
Monday. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited you're with me on this Mindset Monday episode. And since everything starts in the mind, we are exploring men's health this week. And you have a wealth of information, a wealth of accolades behind your name. And I'm just going to have you just share a little bit about yourself with our audience.
Well, for me, it's really been a lot of what I've gone through, what I've experienced in my life. That's where most of my knowledge comes from. From a very young age, I was told uh, some really negative things. One kid told me in junior high that I was stupid and everything I said was stupid, and so I should just shut up. And for me, that just like put this thing into motion where I had to know. And so what I started to do is I started to learn and study everything that I could, and then just overcoming all of that stuff, what I've been through. So that's a little bit about who I am. I grew up in the mountains, um, very little social life, didn't know how to socialize with people. I had to learn everything the hard way. And so my journey has been all about overcoming these obstacles and growing through all of these things.
Awesome. Awesome. It's such an honor to know that you have used the negative things to propel you into being the man you are today. And I know for the work that you have been doing, you are able to assist others who have been disenfranchised, who have been told negative things, to pull them with you and to have them stand tall, just like our Foster standing tall today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's some of the things like it's not even just utilizing that negative thing to propel you forward. It's also rewriting that negative thing from a different perspective in your mind. And that's one of the big challenges that I faced because I didn't know how to do that. And so I'm a big fan of Ed Milet. And one of the things that he always says is you're uniquely qualified to help people who have gone through the exact same things that you've gone through. And so that's one of the things that pushes me to keep trying to help people through all of this.
Awesome. Yes, Ed Milet is a great advocate of positive mindset. He lives it, he teaches it, and he makes sure that he pulls others with him. Thank you for, we are definitely students of Ed Milet.
Absolutely. Um, yeah. So part of my journey was kind of realizing that everything is centered on relationships. Um, and it's not just relationships with other people, it's relationships with yourself. And so that's one of the things that I had to learn too. And so the way I tend to look at things is, how are things connected? And it could be like, if you go to a doctor, and they tell you what's going on in your body, right? Well, how are you connected to that? How is that health connected to you? How is that mindset connected to what you're doing in your life? How is that mindset connected to how you're relating to other people? But I've kind of discovered that everything is a relationship, and that's the basis from where I come.
Awesome. Can you share your more of your personal journey towards embracing a healthy lifestyle and developing a fitness mindset?
Yeah.
Because since
So
we're
so
dealing with men's health, yes.
yeah, absolutely. So more on this side of things, I had gone to the doctor because I was just not feeling everything. I was like, not in great shape. When I'd go to the gym, it was like such a struggle for me to go, and I didn't want to do it. And it hurt, and it was uncomfortable, and all this stuff. And so when I would went to the doctor, they gave me the results, and they said your cholesterol's high, you're pre-diabetic. And for me, being the nerd that I am, I went to study all of this stuff, and I was like, well, wait a minute, why is my cholesterol high? Because my dad has had 2 heart attacks, and I was like, well, I don't want to do that, and he
Mm-hmm.
survived both of them. He's still with us to this day, so thank God. But um, I was like, I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to have a heart attack. Who does, right? And so I had to search for a solution, and the doctor's first remedy was, hey, let's take these meds that are statins, right? Well, I took
Mm-hmm.
statins, which is really common for high cholesterol, and I was taking, I think, CoQ10, which is to lower blood sugar and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then watching my diet and everything. Um, and when I went on the statins, I felt like I was dying. Like my body was so achy, I was so weak that I couldn't even get out of bed hardly. And so it just took so much energy from me while I was taking them. And the doctor was like, well, your body will adjust to them over time and everything. But I felt like there was something wrong, and I couldn't take them. I could not handle it because they're how long? And they're, 2 to 4 weeks taking the, so what am I supposed to do? Take that time off work? I couldn't do that. So I came off of that, and I started seeing for another, and the keto diet. That's when I really discovered the concept of relationship between your mind and your body. Um, I didn't have that before. I don't really mind your body. You take whatever the doctor tells you, and you're good to go. But it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you can't take what the doctor tells you because you might be allergic to the medication, right? And so for me, that was part of my journey. I had to. I went on this keto diet. I was also doing intermittent fasting. I lost 30 pounds in a month. And when I went to the doctor with the next blood test, they said that my triglycerides were so low that they weren't even worried about the cholesterol levels, and that my sugar was like not even on there. So I had literally dieted and exercised myself out of high cholesterol and out of prediabetes. And now that's not to say don't listen to your doctor. I definitely want to put that out there. Um, This is my personal experience. I'm not recommending this to anybody. I'm not a doctor myself. This is just what I experienced and my research. So what I would say is talk to your doctor and see what's right for you in that situation, because that's what I went through. Um, and so yeah, that was my personal experience where I had to get my mind synced up with my body and really work my way through it.
The mind and the body experience, both combining, you have a wholesome person. And that's how God wants us to live, mind and body connection. Now, what are some of the challenges you face? You shared with us that you had challenges with taking the medication and you tried your own thing. Are there any other challenges that you face along the way, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, absolutely. There were a lot of challenges. Uh, uh, so oh, it's hard to process this in a way, but I'll do my best. So the challenges that I faced were obviously losing weight, the high cholesterol, all of that, right? But you can't just say, okay, I'm going to go on the keto diet, right? You have to prepare yourself for that keto diet. It's not an easy diet to be on. It's hard to get into ketosis. The food that you have to buy is going to be very, very limited, and you have to get really creative with what you are able to eat. And it's the same with any diet. Any diet you do, it is so hard to stick with that diet because you want those treats, you want those snacks, you want all those things that you're not supposed to have. And so for me, when I first tried it, I threw myself into it, and I was like, all right, this is all I'm going to do. I threw all the stuff out, bought all the stuff that I needed, right? And then I'm like sitting there going, I have nothing to eat. I have no food. What do I do? And I'm looking at all this I just bought, and I was like, I don't know how to prepare anything for this, and so it took this mental toll because I had to go and figure out how to cook a completely different way. And I got really good at that over time. But one of the things that I learned is that the challenge isn't so much the diet in the first place. The challenge is getting onto the diet. And so many people, just like in relationships, one of the things I always say is like, when you meet somebody and you're going to start a dating relationship, do you move in with them the first day you meet them? No, that's crazy, right? You don't marry them on that first day you meet them either,
Correct.
right? So if you're going to have that kind of relationship with your body, are you going to dive right in, go all in 100% right away? Or are you going to get to know your body first and slowly learn about it over time and see how things work? And if, like for me, what I had to do is, instead of cutting carbs completely and being like, all right, let's do this, which I did do, but I couldn't, there's no way I could stay on that diet. In fact,
Mm,
I've gained some of that weight back over time because that diet I could not maintain. While it helped my health to do it, I was only able to do it for a month. And even then, I was cheating here and there. And when you cheat on the keto diet, it's actually really, really bad for you because of the amount of fats you're taking into your body. And so that can really mess you up.
mhm.
And so that's one of those things where I would say you have to have that relationship with your body. You have to have that relationship, just like another person, just like in business. You can't just dive all in. You have to get to know what's going on. And so I started my journey of getting to know my body. And that was probably the biggest challenge for me because I like to throw myself all in and then find out that it's because I have that, you have that mentality like, all right, I'm going to do it. You get pumped up and you get excited and you're like, yes, this is it. We're going to succeed. Right. And then when you get into it, all of a sudden the struggles start hitting. That I can't find anything to eat. I'm tired of eating an egg every day. I'm tired of eating multiple eggs every day. I'm tired of trying to make this egg taste like something else. You know, there was so much protein involved in that diet and so much fats. Like having butter in your coffee, who would enjoy that? I mean, there are some people, I guess, who like that, but But it's like, those are the kinds of things I had to like, how am I going to get into this? You know, because butter is in place of creamer. You can't have creamer because it's got too many.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of food challenges that I had to face. There's a lot of mindset challenges where uh, the struggle of going to a, a family function where everybody's got all like Thanksgiving, right? We're all going to gain 20 pounds for Thanksgiving. But imagine having all that stuffing and all those mashed potatoes and maybe some desserts sitting in front of you, and you're like, that's all carbs. All I get to eat is a little bit of turkey and maybe some veggies. You know, no stuffing, can't have that. Can't even have gravy. It's too many carbs. You know, so it's a big challenge for your mind to go into that. And so that's some of the stuff that I had to overcome, and some of those setbacks that I had to overcome because, you know, I would cheat on my diet.
You made a valid point. Starting anything, a relationship, whether with your body or with someone else, with work relationship, you have to, it goes in phases because you have the acquaintance phase, then you have the other phases. So getting to know your body and getting the best out of any dieting regimen, it's very important. And another question I need to ask, can you provide some practical tips or strategies for our listeners, our viewers who are looking to improve their overall health? And I know one of my guests, he shared with us last week. He's a vet. His dad died at a young age, at 56. And what he shared is that he makes sure that he stays up with his health. So what are some practical tips in your view you could share with our viewers that they can, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Maintenance, like you said, with that he did, maintenance is key. If you can maintain, it is so much easier to stay healthy than it is to start from scratch, right? Because you've already got that momentum going, you've already got the plan in place, you've already got the habits developed, you've already got that activity set, you've got your foods that you eat. So maintenance is the key. However, most of us aren't at that place where we're already in shape, or we're already fit, or we've already have that mindset. And so one of the things that I've learned is there's this great book called How to Be an Imperfectionist, and I love the book. I'm on my third time reading it right now, just because of all the practical things that are in it. And so one of the struggles that I've realized is, again, going back to that relationship with ourselves, right? Ask yourself why you are struggling. Not just what am I struggling with? Why am I struggling with it? Where does that come from? Because a lot of the time you might have an issue that came from your past. Maybe it was a childhood trauma you faced, and now all of a sudden you're struggling with a bad diet, right? And this can apply to every aspect of your life. You know, what event caused you to have these triggers that are causing you to think this way or act this way?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at those triggers, then you can start to rewrite your memory of those triggers. I have a live channel on TikTok, and I was just talking about this the other day where I had my best friend pass away, and it
Sorry
was
to
a
hear
really,
that.
yeah, really bad, tragic event. And I somewhat blame myself because we'd have this phone call every day, and he would call me on his way home because it was a long, boring drive, right? Well, this one time I was at a funeral, and so he couldn't call me. And on the way back, he got in a car accident and passed away. And it messed me up bad. And I was like super depressed, and I went through so much struggle. And then over time, as I started to feel a little bit better, I started to look for a way to rewrite that memory so that I would feel better.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be such a hard thing to process. Because I literally couldn't talk about him without bawling up, without crying, tearing up, my voice getting all messed up.
Yeah.
Um, and so what I had to do is I had to rewrite that memory, and I started to think about it. What was good about my experience with him right up till the end? What was good
Mhm.
about his passing? And I started to realize, well, God gave me that man in my life, that person that I could look up to, that I could learn from. And I got to see him when he was done with everything in his life. He had completed what he was supposed to do in this world. And I got to experience that last little bit of time with him, literally every day on the phone with him. Some of those days he'd come over, or I'd go over to his house, and we were just talking and working on our dreams and hopes and plans and all that stuff. And I got to see at the funeral how much love and support he had, where everybody who got up there said he was my best friend. So I was like, man, what an impact to have on people. And so now I look at it from a completely different perspective, that I got to experience that time with him, and I got to experience what it's like to be a completed person uh, at the end of your life, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, I can rewrite those same memories that may be traumatic, or that, like, I know some people have a problem where when they are stressed they will eat, right?
Mhm.
When they are tired or frustrated they will eat. So you have these triggers that cause you to eat. Well, your mind is recalling something where the comfort was with the food, right? So you're really, really hungry as a baby, you're crying. When you get fed, you feel better,
Mhm.
right? So your mind is repeating that kind of trigger throughout your life, and that's one of the reasons people will overeat, and they
Right.
won't they won't eat proper amounts, or they'll eat too often, or they'll snack, or they'll find something to do. And so when you get in that phase, that mind, you're actually just reenacting that trigger that you experienced. So if you can find that trigger, you can go back and look at it in a different way and rewrite that into a more positive experience. Because the way your mind works, you don't remember the experience, you remember your recollection of the experience. And every time you remember it, you rewrite it over and over and over again. So you can add that little bit of positivity to that recollection. Over
Right.
time, it'll change, and you won't feel the same way about it anymore. And that can literally change the way that you eat. That can change the way that you diet. It can change your self-control. So it's very, very big to have that relationship with yourself and your mind, and know what's going on there.
You actually, that's powerful. You actually went into the next question I was going to ask you, and I was going to ask you to share an inspirational story or an example of an individual who have helped to transform your life, and what beautiful incident you have with that lifelong friend who passed away, and you can share with such love what impact they had on you and also others. That's powerful. So
Well,
you answered the question before I actually reached there. So that is so powerful. It's good when you have mentors around who can help to shape you. You are on a journey, but of course, sometimes if you don't have a sidekick or a mentor or a coach for that matter, because all of us, whether we're doctors, nurses, any profession, we cannot coach ourselves. So we need that type, we need those people in our life, whether male or female. And although we are on the mindset of health for males this month, this applies to anyone. But since we're on men's health, we're just centering around men. And it's powerful that you had that mentor who can help to shape you. And I know you will not only live your life for Shane, you will also live your life with that example that was set with your friend that passed, and also living that someone can share a memory or someone can see you as a role model who can help to pull them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that it's funny that you say that because um, when he passed, like I said, he was a great person, and he did give me so much courage, and he helped me with my faith and with my confidence in so many ways. But when he passed, it was like it was all gone, and that was where I really felt like I was, lost, and finding the community of people, finding whether it's therapy, books, um, to learn how to work on my mind really was the key that kind of changed everything. And I have mentors now in place in my life who I know love and care about me, and being able to reach out to them in a moment's notice or complain, even though they might not like hearing it all the time. Uh, they are able to listen to those words and then flip that switch and go, wait, we're not doing that anymore. That's old Shane. We're going to be new Shane. And that was huge for me. So definitely having people in your life is definitely a big key. Um, and I know for myself, that was really hard for me to find too. So that's one of those things where it's like you just have to put yourself out there, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, no matter how hard it is. Just go out there and connect with people, one way or another. Because that's the same thing with fitness, right? If you go if you go by yourself to the gym, how easy is it going to be to keep going? Are you going to keep showing up? If you're the only one in your house and you're making food for yourself, how easy is it going to be to cheat on your meal? Right? How easy is it going to be to skip that doctor's visit because you just don't feel like hearing the bad news? Right? But if you have a community of people, say you've got your, I'll just say your gym bro, just because that's the terminology these days. You've got your people that you hang out with at the gym. They're going to be like, hey, where are you? Show up. You got to be here. You're not going to get the gains unless you are doing the work, right? um, and that's the same thing with everything. Accountability is so important in every aspect of health, whether it's mental health, physical health, just your general well-being. You have to have that kind of accountability. So I think it's super important that you actually develop that.
Accountability. And as we look forward to going in the new year, it's not a lot of time left in this year. Many of us, we look for ways that we can make resolutions, and we put ourselves in a tight rope. Now, this is November, so it's good that men and women, although we're focusing on men, you can realize that health and fitness, it's a lifestyle. You're having a relationship with your mind and your body, making sure that they are aligned. That mindset of health and fitness will keep us, yes, we give ourselves a treat, and we keep on our health and fitness regimen. A matter of fact, it should be a part of our life to remain healthy mentally, because once our mental state is healthy, we will choose the things that will make good on our health journey with our body. We eat the right things. If we give ourselves a treat, then we would not, it's not cheating, but giving ourselves a treat now and again, that's fine. But being healthy makes a world of difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
My last question. In your opinion, what are some key elements of a well-rounded approach to health and fitness?
I would have to say the key elements would be start small. Again, with that book, How to Be an Imperfectionist, he talks about developing
I'm sorry. How to Be an Imperfectionist.
Yes.
That's the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can give you the author's name. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'll give you the author's name and you can put it in the description or something for viewers in
Okay.
case they're interested. He talks about developing micro habits. Like with fitness, he said he had this horrible relationship with fitness. And every day he would be like, I need to get better at this. I need to get better at my physical fitness. And so with micro habits, the way that works is you pick something that you cannot fail at. Because, like Ed Milet says, you have to keep the promises to yourself in order to develop the confidence to keep doing those things. Right. So if you keep the promise to yourself, and it's something that's so simple that you cannot fail, then you will slowly develop that into a habit and you will build confidence in that thing. And so his goal he started out with was doing one push up a day. So he'd be like, all right, my goal for the day is to do one push up every day. And it actually became this thing for him over time because he's an author and he does a lot of talking and stuff. But he did this thing where he would start doing these push ups in public, and slowly his habit developed where he had to do that exercise every day. Well, it turned from one push up to multiple push ups to going to the gym regularly to getting in really great shape. And it's just because he would work on that one habit, develop that habit until it was, he didn't even have to think about it. And then he would start adding to that habit, and making it a little bit more and a little bit more because you keep challenging yourself with something that's impossible to fail at, and you will succeed every time. And you can use that for any strategy in any part of your life to improve, right? So if you change by 1% a year, then you're still progressing. The trick is to make sure you're always progressing. And so, yeah, that I think that's probably the best way to overcome any barrier that you have. And it's like you have to face it. That's another key. You absolutely have to face it. You can't run from it. You can't run from your mind. You can't run from your spirit. You can't run from your body. It's all connected. So you have
Yeah.
to face whatever it is you're going through.
Micro, micro, micro. One push up. I can do the little hands up and then hold it out a little bit and then okay, a little bit at a time
And so
until it
simple that you
becomes
can't
a
fail.
habit.
Yes.
So our men, our brothers, our cousins, our uncles, our fathers, our friends, as you prepare for Thanksgiving, enjoy your Thanksgiving. But remember, take care of your health, regular checkup at your doctor's, do micro things, micro that will help you to push you to do the things that doesn't come natural, but by habit they will become natural. Health and wellness should be a lifestyle. Let's make it a lifestyle instead of making resolutions that we become so frustrated and we go right back to our habits that we really don't like, but we have no enjoyment in enduring when we make stringent resolutions. Just do the micro things. One push up, as Ed Milet started with. Or if you have nothing in your house, any fitness exercise machine, use the bottles of water, little by little. Make sure do some movements as Movember for our men. Do some movements. Enjoy. We want you around. We want you around to enjoy your children, your grandchildren, and your great grandchildren. We want you to live healthy. And if the Lord will extend your life, we want you to have a healthy, long life. It's Thanksgiving, and I thank you for joining us. And I hope you have a wonderful dinner with your friends and family and have fun. Enjoy the togetherness as we celebrate men's health, Movember as they call it. We want to cherish our men and let them know that we are here for you and we want you to stay healthy. Thank you for watching. Share your comments. Make sure you subscribe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. This is Miriam Edwards for another episode of Mindset Monday.